his kind of artistic thoughts. So there's nothing by Brink, and then there's another one right here. I can't even read what it says, but there's nothing there or nothing on the side. So it's just art at this point in time, just to kind of showcase what could be. We could have put ABC 1, 2, 3, but no.
To your undisclosed clients, independent or chain?
Independent. Independent. We do work with some chain restaurants and stuff like that, but our niche is really with small businesses and helping them expand. So this is a small business. Locally owned, personally owned, operating, so. And I would say, while they'll be on the second floor, they would have a customer mix and a personnel mix that would then be eating down in the Heights and adding more to the lunchtime traffic as well.
Any other questions at all for Katie or the board? In closing, I want to thank Katie and Administrator Fick. It's a challenge here to take a lot as it is now and turn it into something attractive and viable. And it's something that the village has to do. We have to take every potential commercial property we have and get some type of sales tax revenue producing entity in there. Because there will come a time in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years where if we don't have that in place, it'll be very hard for Peoria Heights to stay a separate community. There's no question about it. Because our lifeblood, the actual money that pays for all our services, comes basically from sales tax revenue. We get very little from property tax. So if it seems like we're kind of going overboard sometimes on this, there's a method to our madness, is that we have to put this stuff in place because I'm speaking in being centrally located in Peoria, greater Peoria area. Peoria Heights has always been very underperforming in terms of commercial developments. We've always had a very attractive and enjoyable uptown area, but in terms of having the high producing ones like we have a Walgreens, thankfully, we have a McDonald's, thankfully, but we have very little else that produces high tax revenue costs. And in order to maintain an excellent police force, in order to maintain an excellent street department, in order to maintain the best volunteer fire department in the area, we have to have that money. And the sales tax revenue that we're getting in the state and in Peoria Heights has not kept up with the cost to maintain all those services. So in order to maintain those services and to hopefully improve upon them, it takes people like Katie and Administrator Fick to get things going, to partner with the village and have these things happen so that maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 years, the Trefskers building, the building that Katie is proposing here, maybe we see an improvement along the 150, along War Memorial Drive. We see some sales tax producing entities so that in 10 years what would be wonderful is we could look at this and say, hey, we created a blueprint for having a viable Peoria Heights for the rest of our lifetimes, and that's really what we're trying to do. So I want everyone to, we appreciate your coming tonight and showing interest in this. And Katie, Administrator Fick, and the Board of Trustees, we appreciate all the hard work you've done. So unless somebody else has any other questions, we can go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Any other questions or comments? Well, thank you, everyone, for attending, and thank you, Katie, and thank you, Administrator Fick and the board. And have a good night and go home safely to that Cubs game, okay?